Yo, what's happening everybody? King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat League video. Today I'm going to be showcasing Ferrothorn in the Catch Cup. This Pokemon's actually quite strong in this meta because if you think about what you're seeing quite a lot of, it is Lanturns, it is Noctowls, and a lot of ground and steel ground types. Of course, with the grass and steel typing of this Pokemon, it hits a lot of things for super effective, and it resists quite a lot. You're seeing here, actually in these first couple of battles, we're running this with Galarian Stunfisk, Noctowl in the lead, and Ferrothorn in the back. Galarian Stunfisk being the safe swap. This team itself is a little bit weak to Galarian Stunfisk, so eventually I do swap it out to Diggersby. I wanted to do these battles at the start with Galarian Stunfisk, just to show you that if you don't have an XL Diggersby for the Catch Cup, Galarian Stunfisk will do just fine. And the one I've got are pretty close to Hundo IVs, which I will eventually power up for Ultra League. So that's why I decided to build this for this cup. Anyway guys, welcome to the video, hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you very much for all the support in yesterday's video. We hit Legend yesterday, or it was the day before yesterday actually at this point. Thank you everybody man, ton of new subscribers, ton of likes in the video, and I just want to say thank you very much, and I very much appreciate all the support in these videos and all of the support this season. We're earthquaking the Lanturn and in comes Ferrothorn. This is exactly what we're doing with this Pokemon. We're here to hunt down Lanturns because, do you know what, I've seen an absolute ton of them. Actually quite recently the Noctowls have dried up a little bit. Oh, here comes Toxapex as well, or was that Toxapex or was it Ninetales, sorry. Yeah, it was a load of Ninetales. We're just going to absolutely wreck this thing and the opponent realizes it. And we still have a couple of Pokemon left in the back. So yeah, this team is here, like I said, just to hunt Lanturns. But just to finish off what I was saying there, thank you very much for all the support in the videos this season. It's been absolutely incredible. And we have a lot of good news here coming, by the looks of things. Michael, I can't remember his second name for the life of me here, Michael Staranka. He's basically one of the developers at Niantic, and he focuses more on the PvP side of things. He said that they really missed out on the move update this season, and he thinks that, yeah, they really missed out on it. Wasn't a good thing that they done last season. So it is looking very hopeful that we will get a good move update this season, and they are looking to expand on the esport of Pokemon Go, and of course just the in-game GBL. This first game here, we've got an Azumarill lead, or sorry, the second game we won. The first game we had a negative lead with Lanturn, of course, but this team is designed to, of course, hardwall Lanturn in the back. This game here with Azumarill, very awkward Pokemon. They actually end up staying in here, so that's quite interesting. They might be very weak to Stunfisk in the back. They do come in with their own Stunfisk here, so I decided to go for an EQ. And I think I might be calling baits here. Since I've hit Legend, like, I don't really care as much. I think in any normal scenario, I do shield this up here, but I'm like, you know what, Rock Slide me, go for it, bro. The opponent goes for the Earthquake. So we're hoping here, okay, roll Ferrothorn, it's going to take about 2 Power Whips to take this thing out, and it'll take them about 2 Earthquakes to take us out. So we're looking still in a pretty positive position here, but I definitely could have made this a little bit easier on myself by just retaining my advantage that I had with Stunfisk. We go ahead and catch an Earthquake on the Noctowl. But even this catch, you know, it looks, oh, what an amazing catch. They have bloody Galvantula in the back, so like there's just not a whole lot I could have done this match anyway. They're just kind of wrecking us here with this one. That lunge done way more than I expected, and of course we do get the attack drop, so this is going to be a good game to the opponent. Azumarill is just a little bit awkward to deal with, unfortunately, because of course it can wreck our backline. Well, actually not Ferrothorn, of course it wrecks Stunfisk, and of course it has a pretty okay matchup against Noctowl. I need to look up the sims in that match, but coming into this next game we have a pretty negative lead as well. Dragonair basically beats Noctowl in the 0s and 2s. You can beat it in the 1 shield. So what I'm going to do is basically play out the 1 shield for off a Sky attack, force a shield advantage, and then look to pivot out into something. That's how I kind of like to play this. I'm going to look to catch a Body Slam here on Galarian Stunfisk. I do successfully get it, and a lot of these Dragonairs are just running Body Slam, so they might not even be able to throw a good move at my Galarian Stunfisk. The opponent here has a Trevenant. 2 Rock Slides comes pretty close to taking this thing out, and of course the opponent knows we have Noctowl, so they're not incentivized to shield here at all. They go for a CMP here on the second one, and at this point I kind of need to get rid of this Trevenant. This thing completely wrecks Ferrothorn. I have a Sky attack loaded, so I'm happy just to fire it straight off, not give the opponent any chance to Shadow Claw down or do anything funny. If I get the shield that'd be great, but I'm just happy to get rid of this Pokemon. I'm ready to pivot out into Ferrothorn here. In comes Dragonair. So we resist absolutely everything on this thing. I'm just going to get rid of it as well though, because the opponent's not insta-swapping as well. And in comes Lanturn, Water Gun Lanturn in the back. And this is exactly what this team is here to do. Absolutely shit all over this stupid little fish. That's just absolutely everywhere in this cup. Goodbye. The opponent top left. This thing is just getting thrown back into the ocean, and we're hopping into the next one, folks. So yeah, Chestnut, very positive lead for us here. The opponent can go for a superpower, which will get us into not quite the yellow, but 2 superpowers roughly get you down to about 30% health. So in comes Slowbro, and I probably should swap straight out here, but my thinking here is I'm just going to full send the nuke. You know, like I said, I've already hit legend, so I'm just kind of playing for fun here at the moment. I'm like, you know what, I'm just full sending nukes, I'm going to make crazy bait calls. You know, these players are trying to get legend and stuff. Well, actually, I think this player is legend, but I'm just kind of messing around here. I decided to get both shields off the opponent and leave it that I can guarantee myself to hit the EQ here. So this is great. Chestnut will wall this Galarian Stunfisk, so if I can get a little bit of an overfarm here, this will be nice. I'm happy enough to take another Surf on this thing as well, so the opponent can't, you know, just go for a crazy amount of farm or anything. They actually aggro swap into Chestnut, which is quite interesting. We'll fire off this Earthquake. We actually have a misaligned timer here, and we're going to come in and just farm the whole way down with Noctowl. The opponent does get to a move, so we can just let this go at this point. This thing is no threat to Ferrothorn anymore, and we're going to look to sweep up a shield with Ferrothorn. We'll see what the opponent comes in with. In comes Galarian Slowking, so they've got Slowbro and Slowking, which is quite an interesting team here. We're going to look to fire off Thunder here. 2 Thunders will roughly take this thing out. The opponent's going to fire off a Shadow Ball or a Surf. I'm going to call the first one, I can easily live either move, and we're going to expect the catch here. I'm not throwing a move, I'm just going to keep tapping until the Galarian Slowbro comes in. We even single resist these Poison Jabs and Sludge Bombs because of the Steel typing. And yep, back in comes the Galarian Slowking. This is only going to be a Surf, but we just have to respect it anyway. They're not going to be able to get to 2 moves, and 1 Thunder will look to take it out. So yeah, guys, if you're trying to make a little bit of a climb, I do highly recommend, if you do need to build a Ferrothorn for like some limited metas next season, Ferrothorn's a good Pokemon for those metas. And here's our Pikachu Libre that we only just got. For the last couple of days, I've been running just tons of spicy Pokemon like Bruxish and just all the nonsense you can possibly think of. Dedenne is a good Pokemon, don't get me wrong. Just in this cup, there's so many ground types, and Noctowl has kind of dried up because there's so many Lanturns. So yeah, it's looking a little bit rough for Dedenne, unfortunately, here. I dropped down to about 2850, and I think we went 15 out of 25 with this team. We do, like I said, eventually swap out to Digger's Beam. We went 15 out of 25, and got myself up to just over 2900 again. So I'm going to try to hit Legend for the second time. You know, to be fair, I hit Legend with like a super OP XL team, so it'd be kind of nice to like get down to 2850 and then hit Legend again with a different team that's not like super overpowered. I mean, this is overpowered, not gonna lie, but I think you will probably know if you've played this a little bit. Pretty much everybody's running XL Azumarill, XL Medichams, and we go for a catch here on the potential Night Slash. I was making some nice catches here today, and I completely messed this up here. I farmed to 7. I thought they would take 8 to get to the Earthquake. It normally is 8, but the fact that they threw Night Slashes misaligned the counts. So it's like 5-4 for the Night Slash. So they must have been on their 4 cycle whenever they were throwing that Earthquake. So that kind of messed me up. We're going to go ahead and fire off an Earthquake here. And I realize that I'm ahead by enough energy that even if the opponent does beat me here, I can just, you know, respect it. Like I said, I don't really have a huge answer to this thing. So we're going to respect it. It is a Rock Slide, of course. And we can CMP and get off an Earthquake. The good thing with my Stunfisk is I know that I'll basically win CMP and everything, having of course 15 attack. The opponent lives out on an absolute sliver of HP, couldn't believe that one. That's absolutely fine though. We'll look to try and farm down. The opponent swaps here out. In comes Tropius, and Tropius is not going to have a very good time here. Of course these Uriel Asses will be neutral, but these Thunders are going to be looking to be neutral as well, and they're just hitting that little bit harder. And of course we still have a Noctowl in the back, which probably will get to a Scat Attack. So, good games to the opponent, they see the writing on the wall there. And as you can see guys, you know, Ferrothorn is just putting in the work here. I'm getting a lot of top lefts, and the opponent realizes it too, and they're coming in with Ferrothorn. So what we're going to do here, it takes them 5 Bullet Seeds, which is 15 turns to get to the Thunder. So we're going to fire off a Sky Attack here. We're going to throw one more Wing Attack and look to catch a potential Thunder on Stunfisk. Was the opponent baiting? They were not. They threw the Thunder into the Stunfisk. You love to see it. And what do you sort of need to do with this team? It is a classic ABB style team. You want to try to draw out a Scrafty with your Stunfisk, land an Earthquake on it, get it pretty low. Well, it gets it below half health at least. And then you look to farm it down with Noctowl. Yeah, I've done a decent little chip into that thing. And we're going to look to farm it down. So we're waiting at the timer here, and we're just going to farm this the whole way down with Noctowl. If the opponent comes back in with Ferrothorn, we can look to get off multiple Scat Attacks, and that's looking to put us in quite a good position here. Now, I'm thinking this could be a foul play, but I'm not going to respect anything here. Yeah, it is another Power Punch. Back in comes Ferrothorn, and at this point now, we're going to get to 2 Scat Attacks, and this is going to look to take out this thing. This is not really an amazing matchup for this Pokemon, so, like, I'm sort of surprised they're coming back in with it. So I'm thinking you might be weak to Noctowl in the back. I insta-swap here, because I know the opponent's in super low health. Normally you would try to catch after they throw 1 Bullet Seed, but because they were so low, I realized they're probably going to throw the move straight away, so we go straight for the catch. We go for a Thunder here on Toxapex, it's going to go through, and one more Thunder will look to take this thing out. At this moment, the opponent probably is considering top lefting, but they're staying in here, playing it out to the end, and we're going to land another Thunder. Yep, like goodbye Toxapex. This thing absolutely destroys Toxapex, and we're going to look to farm down the opposing Ferrothorn. You will get that mirror match with Ferrothorn, and it is just so awful. Lucky enough I didn't get it today, but it's an awful match. Scrafty in the lead, okay, very positive lead, and we're going to look to probably pivot out into something here in a second. I think I misplay this here. What I decide to do is, again, just try to land a Sky Attack or get both shields off the opponent. What I'm going to do here is just call a bait. Actually, I've noticed these are sending Blast Burns a little bit more recently, but I just can never make a correct call on this thing. I'm going to full send the Shadow Ball here as well, get both shields off the opponent, and then look to sweep with Diggersby. I feel like Diggersby and Ferrothorn up 2 shields, even with like a Scrafty in the back, can do extremely well here. I'm going to respect a Blast Burn because the opponent is just full sending moves here at this point. They're not messing about whatsoever. The opponent's probably going to full send another Blast Burn. I'm going to respect it. I feel like I need my Diggersby, and we've got 100 energy, and even with a Scrafty coming in, a Diggersby loaded on energy can basically take out almost anything, even a Noctowl with Quick Attack. In comes Earthquake as well, and this is going to be a good night to Scrafty, and we'll have a look and see what's in the back. Right here, I tapped the wrong Pokemon. I meant to come into Ferrothorn, but the opponent sees the Ferrothorn and they're like, oh no, oh hell no. They're not going to waste any more time here, and that's going to be a top left from the opponent and good games. Once again, this Ferrothorn lurking in the back, it just looks to threaten so many backlines. There are so many backlines that are weak to Ferrothorn, and I've seen a few other people using it in around my elo range, and I just recognize that it's such a strong pick. We're seeing a ton of Azumarils, we're seeing a ton of Lanturns, we're even seeing the occasional Toxapex, and again, like with the neutral, or sorry, the super effective Thunders, ahead on energy, you can look to do a lot of damage against Noctowl, and of course it does pretty well against Galarian Stunfisk, so this Pokemon just hits the whole meta here, which is amazing. We're over farming here. I can eat 2 Earthquakes. I don't like actually this. I feel like I eat 2 Earthquakes way too often on this thing. You can live them, but you know, I feel like you should. Oh, the opponent's shielding now, so this is kind of hilarious. See, this is why you don't want to eat 2 Earthquakes. I'm going to shield up 1 and get the second shield off the opponent, but the opponent's going to look to take switch here, and this is going to put us in an awkward position. I feel like I should have just fired off the move first. The opponent aggro swaps out. Didn't really make a lot of sense. I didn't swap out in time, but in comes Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn just absolutely walls this thing. The opponent can Ice Beam all they want. It is not going to make a difference. And just a little bit of a tip I want to give you guys. I want to talk about what the opponent done there. So they decided to shield an Earthquake on the Galarian Stunfisk, and then they give up switch advantage. So what they could have done is shielded twice and looked to farm down Diggersby before he can get off another Earthquake. Taking switch advantage, even if you're going down shields, you get the alignment right. But if you invest 1 shield and then take an Earthquake and give up switch advantage, you're basically getting no value out of that shield. And, you know, again, like, if you want to lose switch and farm it down with Azumarill, that's cool. Or if you want to take switch and get alignment, that's cool as well. But shielding and then giving up switch is about the worst thing you can possibly do. So this matchup here, we can actually take switch here. The opponent can fire off multiple Sky Attacks, but if I decide to shield, or if they decide to let things go, these fire punches will look to take it out. Now I'm going to farm up to just before the next Sky Attack, and then look to threaten the opponent's shield, or switch advantage. And our timers are almost back up again, so like, with the opponent staying in here, me swapping out, didn't really actually cost me anything. And in comes Trevenant. We're going to look to fire off multiple fire punches. The opponent is trying to get some usage out of Trevenant, considering we have a Noctowl, and we'll probably see what's in the back here quite soon. Fire punch number 2 coming through. Now, I could definitely swap out here at this point. This thing's low enough that I can deal with it with any of my free Pokemon. So letting them take me out maybe was not the best play here. But in comes Galarian Stunfisk, and we're ahead by energy. Of course, we're still in the 2 shield. So this is looking very, very positive. We can look to fire off multiple Shadow Balls in this thing. The opponent does get to the Rock Slide here. I probably could have considered catching this one. We're going to fire off another Shadow Ball, and I think I will look to catch a Rock Slide here eventually. Yep, Shadow Ball coming through, and was that even at the Rock Slide? I guess it must have been, because this is the Earthquake. So very nice patience by the opponent, but we're going to look to go for back-to-back Power Whips in this thing, which will look to take out Galarian Stunfisk, and this should be a good game at this point. Ferrothorn does quite well against Stunfisk. I need to actually look up the sims on it, but I did not want to CMP right there as well. I realized that they're probably going to go for the catch, so that's why I'm sort of over-farming here. I accidentally hit the Thunder here, which is a little bit stupid, but I just didn't want to take any damage on this thing. For some reason in my brain at this point, right, in my mind at this point, I thought it was still Noctowl that was alive, not Trevenant. I'm going to be completely real with you guys. We do CMP on the Sky Attack, and just about take that match. So I almost threw by throwing the Thunder, because I thought, oh, Noctowl's going to come back in, but of course it was Trevenant, so I definitely need to get my act together here a little bit. I've definitely taken my foot off the gas a little bit since hitting Legend. And we have a negative lead here, Skarmory. We can look to fire off Shadow Ball, which will look to threaten it into almost the yellow, I would say, at this point. This is the power of Noctowl, like, it's just so OP. We've got them in the yellow. We look to catch Sky Attack. We can need any move on this. Brave Bird will do about 50% health, and I'm absolutely fine with that. In comes a Lanturn, and what I'm going to look to do is get an Earthquake off on this thing. The opponent will get off a Surf, but this Earthquake will look to threaten about 80% of their health. We're going to go for a slight overfarm here, and look to fire off the Earthquake. I want to make the opponent think I might be baiting, but of course we're not. The opponent's not messing around with Diggersby here. They just want to get rid of it straight away. But little do they know, folks, that we have a Ferrothorn lurking in the back, just here to absolutely wall this thing. We can let any move go here. This thing cannot do anything against Ferrothorn. We've got the 20% battery notification, and even that's not going to help them. I might even go for an undercharge here, potentially. No, I think I decide just to get rid of it so they don't swap out. In comes Skarmory, and we're going to have a Thunder loaded for the Skarmory. Will the opponent respect it? They do not respect it. We get that through. And in comes a Mudboy in the back. The opponent is just absolutely core broken by Ferrothorn. Marshtomp is quite an interesting pick for this cup. So shout out to the opponent. Okay, we get a very positive lead here again, and in comes Stunky. So we're going to go here, get off an Earthquake in this thing. I think I might be misplaying this matchup. We'll have a look here. Crunch number 1 coming through. I'm over farming here as usual, and we see MP on the second crunch. We'll see what the opponent decides to do here. I had a feeling they might try to take switch advantage at this point, so that's why I was a little bit thinking, yeah, maybe I just messed this up. The opponent does let it go though, thankfully, and back in comes Scrafty. I'm going to look to get off the Earthquake. The opponent CMPs us, so I'm happy enough that the opponent's dumped their energy at the very least, and this is absolutely fine. We can come in a Molbit of Noctowl, and the opponent's actually staying in here. I'm expecting the catch here, so I'm over-farming. The opponent is not caught, and we fire off one before the foul play. Now this could be the foul play, so I will respect it, but of course the opponent is baiting, and they're staying in here still, so I'm like, bro, what do you have in the back? I'm considering shielding up this next move, even if it is just the Power Punch, and the opponent is fire off another move. See, the thing about Scrafty is with Power Punch, they can run through Noctowl, which is really annoying. We're going to get rid of this thing. It is a Slowbro in the back. So what I need to do here is come in with my Ferrothorn, farm up to back-to-back moves, fire off a Thunder on the Slowbro, and fire off a Power Whip on the Scrafty. So they weren't like, I guess they were kind of weak because one Shadow Ball would look to almost take out. So I think these Slowbros and Slow Kings are just not good in this cup. We go to fire off a Thunder here. I actually overtap a little bit, throwing in good timing even though I'm at 100 energy. And we're going to get off a Power Whip. Ferrothorn is a Scrafty counter confirmed, and that's going to be a good game. So once again, you're seeing with Ferrothorn in this meta, it's just absolutely walling backlines. Those poison jabs are still single resisted even with the grass typing, because of course steel double resist poison. And once again we have a negative lead here, but we're going to play it out the same way most likely. The opponent actually goes straight for the body slam instead of trying to CMP me this time, which is kind of nice. And we're going to look to fire off a Sky Attack, and most likely transition into Diggersby here at some point. If the opponent lets us go, it will basically knock them out, so they have to shield it. And I actually just transition straight out this time. In comes Lanturn with Water Gun, and I actually prefer this because they can't spam off Surfs as quickly. So I may be able to get off 2 Earthquakes on this thing now. So you would think Water Gun's worse. I think Water Gun is actually better for Diggersby, because again you're getting to spam off Earthquakes a little bit more. And the opponent lets it go, they call it, and I think at this point I decide to take switch advantage. We farm it the whole way down. I'm going to shield up here, and one Earthquake will look to basically take out Dragonair, or threaten pretty much anything except for Noctowl. If it is Noctowl, we can look to fire off multiple Fire Punches. It is Noctowl, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We have a Noctowl of our own for this, and the Ferrothorn just absolutely walls Dragonair. There's not a single move that it can throw, which does well against Ferrothorn. So this is looking to be a good game. We come into Noctowl. I'm happy enough just to eat this at this point. Yep, it will eat the Sky Attack, and at this point it is Ferrothorn time. We're going to look to farm up to basically back-to-back here. The opponent will fire off a move, and these Sky Attacks do definitely add up here. I'm thinking this is the hardest hitting move left in the game, and in comes Dragonair. We're going to farm up to close to 100 energy. Unfortunately, the opponent does go for the CMP here. It is an Aqua Tail. We're going to fire off this Power Whip, and then look to farm down. I don't think this will quite take it out, but it'll get pretty low. This is starting to get a little bit ropey now at this point. I look to go for a catch. I do successfully catch. Even though these are resisted, Dragonair just hits like an absolute truck. And we just need to farm this thing the whole way down. This is getting way too close. I'm going to go for the Power Whip, be it off the rip. I'm hoping the opponent will invest their final shield, and then we'll look to go for the Thunder, because the opponent will be getting very close to a Sky Attack. I think there were 1 or 2 wing attacks off. We do get the Thunder, and once again, Ferrothorn can put in the work against Noctowl and Lanturn, which is what's so great about it. Now this is not a great lead at all here. We're going to look to potentially catch a Rock Slide. What I decide to do is fire off here just before they get to the Earthquake. And I'm thinking the opponent will build up to back-to-back and for their first move. They do exactly that, and we do catch what is... It has to be a Rock Slide, right? Imagine they went for the Earthquake, but yeah, in comes an Abomasnow. So Abomasnow doesn't really have a comfortable time here, of course. Energy Ball will look to absolutely wreck Diggersby, and we'll see if the opponent full sends it here. I'm actually going to respect this, and it is just the Weather Ball, unfortunately. Now we're going to go for a Fire Punch on this, and this will absolutely wreck this thing. Even though Fire Punch is pretty weak, it absolutely wrecks it. And at this point, I'm happy enough to let a Weather Ball go. Diggersby is so thick that it just eats these moves. And I think I might even double shield this and farm down, but the opponent doesn't get off another move, which is just amazing. At this point, I think I might have been able to get to the Earthquake here. We'll have a look. So that was 1 mud shot, 2, 3. Okay. We look to catch... I guess this would have been just a Rock Slide. This was a terrible catch here, honestly. And the opponent's going to fire off another one. That was a terrible catch, to be completely fair. I'm not sure what that one was all about. We're going to look to throw just before they get to the Rock Slide. Yeah, I remember thinking at the time when I made that, I'm like, what am I playing at? They're not going to Earthquake. In comes Whimsicott, but this is still absolutely fine. Once again, we resist all of the grass moves. We double resist Grass Knot, and we single resist Moonblast on the Ferrothorn. So this is still looking very positive. Whimsicott, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon. It has okay bulk, but it's definitely not as bulky as this thing, and the opponent does go for Grass Knot. I think they did not realize the correct move to throw, and I think they even actually threw in bad timing. Now, I'm going to respect the Moonblast being the hardest hitting move in the game. The opponent's not going to make the same mistake twice, I'm sure. And we go for a Power Whip here. One more Power Whip will look to take this thing out, and that's going to be a good game. So yeah, definitely a bit of a misplay on the Stunfisk matchup there, but it definitely works out fine in the end. We've got Ferrothorn here just to clean up our mistakes a little bit, and good games to the opponent. In comes Slowbro, very good lead for us here. The opponent, of course, can look to spam off Surfs and so on, but we're going to probably look to go for a Shadow Ball just before they reach the Sludge Bomb here, and potentially look to transition into Diggersby at some point. I do decide to transition in here, and the opponent is going to start firing off multiple Surfs. The thing is, they cannot farm us down or anything, and as you can see, it's going to take 2 Surfs to even get into the yellow. We may be able to survive another Surf, maybe not at this range, but the opponent comes in with Dodonphan, and we go for the Earthquake. The opponent definitely could have put a little bit of pressure on us there if they wanted to. We almost one-shot the Dodonphan, and I'm like, yo, this is amazing, we've got a shield, and at this point we can farm it down with Noctowl. Now, this thing hits like a truck, so I decide, okay, I'm going to keep some health on Noctowl here, and look to farm this the whole way down. Maybe arguably a bad shield right there, but we'll see what the opponent comes back in with. They should be pretty dry here, and they come in with a Alolan Ninetales. I'm going to full send the Sky Attack. That was super laggy. I think I threw in good timing there, but the game was just super laggy. We're going to come in with Ferrothorn here at this point. I can shield up one Weather Ball. This should be the hardest hitting move left, and we'll see what the opponent wants to do here. We're going to look to overfarm here, expecting the catch, and in comes Galarian Slowbro. That's one thing that if you want to improve your gameplay, just be a little bit patient with your moves, because the opponents definitely always go for a catch. Now, I can comfortably farm up a ton of energy here because look at the Sludge Bomb going through. That does nothing. It just does absolutely nothing. At this point, we're going to farm up to 100 energy or back-to-back Power Whips here, basically. Fire off the first one on the Slowbro, and we're going to fire off the next one on Ninetales. They're about 1 charm away from Weather Ball here. And at this point, what I decide to do is try and catch a Weather Ball on Noctowl. I do manage to get to the Sky Attack. And this could have been me potentially throwing the match because I thought they would have fired off the Weather Ball straight away. But again, the opponent was patient there, and they were holding on to the energy. Their win condition was to for me to try and catch, basically, and for them to charm us down. So a little bit risky there. Good games by the opponent. Last thing I wanted was for them to Weather Ball my Ferrothorn and then get charmed down. So I was trying to catch that Weather Ball. In comes Howlucha. The opponent swaps straight out, and in comes Ferrothorn. It is Ferrothorn time. This is exactly why my boy is here. He is here just to absolutely destroy this thing. And this thing does pretty well against Howlucha as well. Or should I call it Spoofalucha? Spooferlucher. We're going to go ahead and go for Power Whip here, which will look to almost take this thing out. And we're going to farm this thing the whole way down. The opponent will fire off another move, and by the time we come out of this match, we're going to have so much energy for Spoofalucha that it's going to be very difficult for them to come back in. We can thunder the life out of it, and of course this poison jabs are still resisted. In comes Galarian Stunfisk, and once again the opponent is pretty core broken by this thing. 2 Power Whips will come very close to getting it into the yellow here. I think about 3 Power Whips in total will take this thing out. And yeah, we're looking to be in a dominant position. At this point we come in with Diggersby, and I'm just going to overfarm as much as possible here. I'm not going to fire off a move on this thing because I want to try and keep energy for the Howlucha. The opponent comes straight back in with it. At this point, guys, we're just going to spam off Fire Punches. We can come in and clean this up with Noctowl because we've got full health on Noctowl. And in the position that Stunfisk is in, Noctowl can probably clean it up. And of course, if Noctowl is not able to, we have Ferrothorn, which will be able to get off another Power Whip. So This is looking very positive. I decide to shield this up because I just want to get rid of this thing. We'll see if the opponent respects it. The opponent, they do respect it, and we come straight into Noctowl at this point. And we can eat a move on this thing, no problem, because we cannot get farmed down by Stunfisk. Flank press coming through. The opponent comes back in here. We go for the Shadow Ball, which will look to get this into the deep yellow. We'll see what the opponent decides to do here. They're still staying in. So I realize at this point, like, I don't even need to put this in Ferrothorn. They're not going to get to another move. They're in Sky Attack range. We'll just Sky Attack it, get rid of it, and the Howlucha will be on 1 HP. So yeah, Spoofaloocha cannot stop us here. You just know, bro, like, if you see a Howlucha, 99 out of 100 times, it's a Spoofaloocha. A very positive lead here. I'm expecting the opponent to swap out, but they are not. And I decide to fire off the Sky Attack. Just one before Foul Play. Fun fact about Foul Play, which I learned quite recently on Scrafty. The first one's 7, and then I think the next 2 are 6. So just keep that in mind when you're counting it. The opponent is staying in here, so I'm like, you know what? This is probably a Power Punch, but I'm going to shield it, because I want to retain some health on this thing. The opponent has to be super weak to this in the back if they're staying in with Scrafty. So I transition into Diggersby here at this point, and I'm thinking, once again, up a shield, Diggersby can put in the work. Now, as you're seeing here, these Power Punches and counters are just ripping through Diggersby now. The opponent thankfully swaps out, and at this point we're going to look to fire off multiple Fire Punches on this thing. So this thing is definitely very weak to Noctowl, and we're going to do the exact same thing as we done last time. We're going to spam this Spoofaloocha with Fire Punch, and the opponent will eventually take us out here. Now, once again, I think I decide I'm getting rid of this Spoofaloocha, and we're going to go ahead and go for a Fire Punch. I need my Noctowl. I don't want to get flying pressed on my Ferrothorn, and yeah, that's what we decide to do. We invest that shield, and in comes Scrafty. Can we get to a Fire Punch in time? The opponent just throw the move, which is amazing, and we're going to look to potentially farm it down with Noctowl here. 1, 2, the opponent swaps out into Galarian Stunfisk. We're going to get off a Shadow Ball here, and then look to probably double Power Whip this thing to get rid of it. 1 Earthquake does not take us out. The opponent will need to get to back-to-back Earthquakes. So this looks to be in a good position here, and hopefully we can take this match. We're going to fire off the first... Okay, we're not going to fire it off yet. We're going to fire after 3 here, and then look to throw the next one immediately. They get to the Earthquake in 8 and then 7 on the second time around. The opponent just about does outpace to it, but the amazing thing is here, they cannot farm down the Noctowl. We can farm this down, and can we reach the move just in time? We don't even need to, we just about get it down. The opponent, I think they were pretty dry because they threw the Power Punch, so good games to the opponent. It was getting very, very close there in the end. We're getting some very, very nice positive leads here, and this is not one of them. This is a Lanturn lead with Water Gun. Once again, I don't mind Water Gun too much because it takes them longer to get to the Surf. 1 Surf coming through here, and we will get off at least 2 Earthquakes in this thing. If I decide to shield it, I can probably get off more. Diggersby is so thick that these Water Guns are just not adding up as much as the opponent would like. And yeah, they're not going to be able to farm us down. They're going to have to throw another Surf here. I decide to respect it here, get off a second Earthquake, and then look to potentially farm it down. Because if you have a look at the switch timer here, we've stayed in this matchup for so long that the switch timer is actually coming up now. So all I need to do is just wait for a second here, come in with Ferrothorn and just absolutely wall this thing. And if the opponent swaps out, we'll look to be RPSing this. The opponent swaps out, and what we're going to do here is go for Thunder. And I decide not to swap out here, because the opponent wants to get their Lanturn lined up on my Noctowl. I decide to stay in here for a minute. I can absolutely wall this thing as you've seen before. Psychic coming through, that does a little bit more damage than Sludge Bomb. Second Thunder is going to take this thing out. And again, we're still up a shield and we've got a Ferrothorn, which completely walls their Lanturn. Now, I am ready to swap into Noctowl here quite soon. The opponent comes in with their Drapion. So we're going to come in here, look to fire off a move. I think I misplay this so badly, actually, come to think of it. Crunch coming through. I fire off the Sky Attack straight away, and in comes Lanturn. I was pretty annoyed with myself on this one, to be completely honest with you. It was so obvious that they were going to catch, but I was thinking their timer might still be down. So what I decided to do here is look to farm this thing down, and hopefully get off a move. Now, at this point, these moves are going to add up, so this is starting to look a little bit rough here. This farm down is not going well. I have to respect this move. I've definitely completely thrown this one, folks. If I was just a little bit more patient, I could Shadow Ball the Lanturn, and that would leave it into a range where Ferrothorn could take it out more comfortably. And then at that point, we can look to get off multiple moves on the Drapion without them farming us down. So definitely a big misplay by me right there, and it just goes to show where you have to be patient. Don't just insta throw the moves. Just be a little bit patient. Try to keep everything in mind, and you will get more wins. But thank you all for watching. We're back up to, I believe, 29-19 here. Oh, 28, 29, 19. I'm going to make another push for Legend, like I said, just for fun. I might have one more video before the season ends. And like I said, it is looking very positive that we're going to get a good move update this season. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated and make a video on that whenever it comes through. But thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for the support in the videos. Hit that like button, subscribe, join us here in Discord, and I'll catch you guys next time.